Like an angel in the morning, shooting star across the night. The most beautiful girl I've seen in all my life. Every second spent with you, it's like a day that starts brand new. Girl, I'm so amazed at all the things you do. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and for always. And girl, you are my sunshine, baby, don't you go away. Yeah, I want me, all over me, already me alive. I will love you forever. Yeah, I want me, all over me, already me alive. I will love you forever. I hear music in your words and in the way you call my name. When you're by my side, I can't do anything. You're my best friend, you're my lover. Without you, no one else would do. Through thick and thin, I know we'll make it true. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and for always. Girl, you are my sunshine, baby, don't you go away. Yeah, I want me, all over me, already alive. See, I will love you forever. Yeah, I want me, all over me, already alive. I will love you forever. My baby, you are my sunshine, my lover, my essence. There's no one like you. My baby, you are my sunshine, my lover, my essence. There's no one like you. You are me, all over me, already alive. See, I will love you forever. Oh, you are me, all over me, already alive. See, I will love you forever. My sugar, my honey, my lover, I will love you forever. My baby, my lover, and my best friend, I will love you forever. I place no woman above you. I will love you forever. I promise to always love you, baby. I will love you forever. And there's no one that comes close. I will love you forevermore. And evermore. I will love you forever. Cause you are my baby, my sunshine. I will love you forever. And when there's nothing more to say, I will love you forever. Like an angel in the morning, shooting star across the night. The most beautiful girl I've seen in all my life. Every second spent with you, it's like a day that starts brand new. Girl, I'm so amazed at all the things you do. Yes, I wanna build my whole world around you. So I promise you forever and for always. And girl, you are my sunshine, baby, don't you go away. Yeah, I want me, all over me, already alive. I will love you forever. Yeah, I want me, all over me, already alive. I will love you forever. I hear music in your words and in the way you call my name. When you're by my baby. You are my sunshine, my love and my essence. There's no one like you. My baby, you are my sunshine, my love and my essence. There's no one like you. You are me, all over me, already alive. Say I will love you forever. Oh, me, all over me, already alive. Say I will love you forever. My sugar, my honey, my lover, I will love you forever. My baby, my lover, and my best friend, I will love you forever. I place no woman above you. I will love you forever. I promise to always love you, baby. I will love you forever. And there's no one other girl to love. I will love you forevermore. And evermore. I will love you forever. Cause you are my baby, my sunshine. I will love you forever. And when there's nothing more to say, I will love you forever. Forever and ever and ever and ever. I will love you forever.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining today. We'll be starting right away while others join us afterwards. Today, we're continuing our conversation on the anatomy of relationship and marriage, and we'll be looking at promiscuity part 2. Last week, I will look at promiscuity part 1. Remember, it's relationship and marriage. So we're discussing issues also that have fun even after the marriage has been consummated. Today is Saturday, and as usual, a lot of weddings most likely will have taken place today. And people are coming into this institution every week. But how many people are prepared? Not so many people are prepared to really get the best out of this institution. And it's a common saying that he who fails to plan is planning to fail. He who fails to plan is planning to fail. So we put together a number of sessions and we try to educate ourselves every week as we explore this very important topic of relationship and marriage. Now, today we are looking at promiscuity part 2. Youth of the generation are faced with the great challenge of choosing life partner. Many have followed practices and not principles, and these are led to situations where you have a high rate of divorce and even paternity fraud in many marriages. High rate of divorce and even paternity fraud in many marriages. So the goal of this program is to help everyone that will be listening today and in future to get it right in the critical area of their lives. You will hear some uncommon ideas about marriage in this series. Please note that these are based on research and it should help you to align with current reality of our times. Therefore, listen with open mind. And please go back also to check some of the thoughts that are shared to also ensure those things are so. Critique it and ensure you do not just accept it, but rather you also check it out yourself. That is very important because then you own the knowledge and of course you can apply it in your own relationship. I'll continue from where I stopped last week, promiscuity part 2. A survey was done in the US and Europe to know why men cheat. To know why men cheat. The reason why women cheat, to know why men and women cheat. The reason why women cheat in Europe include, number one, my partner stopped paying attention to me. Some people might think that this is mundane, but if you understand love language, you will know that this is a very important reason for someone that is empty, someone that has a void inside of her. For this kind of person, if someone else starts to feel that void, she will begin to give her body to retain the person in her life, so that the person continue to fill this space for her. There was a man, this is a true life story. He's supposed to be a Christian who even claimed to be born again. This person cheated on the wife because he has ladies in our office that were filling the space that the wife supposed to be filling. That were filling the space that the wife supposed to be filling. Talking about his dressing, talking about a number of things. And of course, after a while, they go beyond commending, giving him handshake, from handshake to hug. And after a while, the lady wanted more than hug. And of course, he has to give them sex. This man grew up as a boy who is used to hugging from his mother, but lost his mother when he was very young. Now, this lady in his office started to fill up the space that the mother left, that the wife had refused to fill. And he began to sleep with them because the lady now wanted more from him. And for them to continue to give him what he wants, he had to also do what he desired. This guy did not set out to have a side chick. This guy did not set out to have a girlfriend. This guy did not set out to do what eventually happened, but it happened. You know, each time someone was in my office yesterday, and I was talking to him about this, about marriage. And I made a statement that, look, if you cannot bear and you cannot forgive someone cheating on you, and as painful as that might be, maybe you should not consider marriage. The guy I just told you about now, a true life story. This guy did not set out to cheat on his wife, but it happened. This guy was married to a lady that never liked sex. And so the lady always resists sex with the husband. So after this incident, went for therapy session to unravel what really happened. The therapy went through this lady's history and found out that she was raped when she was 12. She was raped when she was 12. And that incident made her to hate sex with serious passion. But then she went to marry. Every time when sex is about to happen in a marriage, she remembered the rape. She shut down from having sex, even with her husband. In the survey I was talking about when I started, the participants were asked how they met the people they were cheating with. The people, remember, this survey was about married men and women that cheated in the US and Europe. And they asked them, how did you meet this person you were cheating with? And it was observed that the person they were cheating with was mostly their friend or their colleague at work because of proximity. So they were not cheating with strangers. They were cheating with someone. In fact, if you remember last week, I mentioned the fact that for many, they actually even cheat with someone that their spouse even know. So this is why it is said that an unguarded proximity will lead to immorality. Some other causes of infidelity include cultural intimidation. If we allow polygamy in our society and parties agree before they get married, infidelity will reduce. So people agree because some people already grew up with polygamy, but now society forced them to do monogamy, or religion forced them to do monogamy. But they themselves know they don't want monogamy. But they won't tell their partner about it. But rather will go out to do it. Look at Nigeria, for example. Nigeria has 3 kinds of marriages, include customary marriage, civil marriage, and Sharia. Out of this, the only one that promotes one wife, one husband is civil. Customary marriage allows many wives. That's our traditional one. Sharia for Muslim allow many wives. Only the civil kind of marriage, court one that allow only one. So based on culture, based on religion, majority of ethnic nationality in Nigeria grew up in polygamous society. That means our society is essentially polygamous. Essentially polygamous. Another reason of infidelity is in marriages because the party coming together do not know themselves. So that's why it is recommended that they should have a user's manual. User's manual to let them understand each other and how to relate with each other. This will let you know the fantasies of your spouse, the deal breaker of your spouse. It will let you know if he or she will not mind cheating or that he will never forgive such act. Or he will never forgive such act. Judas manual let you know who you are married to and who you should never marry to. He let you know who you are married to. He also let you know who you should never marry to. There are some people today as they are separated who should never have married in the first place. They are separated today, but they shouldn't have even married in the first place. They shouldn't have married in the first place because there are 2 different people who cannot tolerate each other, yet they are married. You know, when I hear some people talk about this matter, you know, one of the worst things that can happen to us as humans, or to you as a younger person, if for someone older to recommend for you to live your life, not based on principle, but based on what worked for him. Based on what worked for him. based on what worked for him. Some believe because they prayed and God is one that told them about this lady, everything will be fine. They don't realize the fact that they have a role to play. And because they have a role to play, they must not relinquish that role. They must perform that role to the letter if there will be peace in that relationship. There are some people who come into marriage with sex addiction. Addiction is an uncontrollable and compulsive desire. And some people come into marriage with uncontrollable and addictive desire to have sex, to always have sex, rather. A lady that knows that they are already having sex before marriage, because he's sex addict, should know that the guy or the lady can never be faithful in marriage. You're married to someone who is sex addict, who always asks for sex before marriage. He can't be faithful in marriage. Because as a wife or husband, you will not always be around. And because he's addicted, remember, addiction is an uncontrollable and compulsive desire. Uncontrollable and compulsive desire. It's a desire, it is uncontrollable, and it is compulsive. Now, it is common that most people do not get married to those they truly love because of some minor issue like religion, culture, social class, and other issues. So in the bid to please their family member, they will marry who their family member wants, but not who they love. You know what that does? It makes them to always, more often than not, always have to go back to their ex. You know, it's so interesting. There's a guy I follow online. This guy have some followers. Who tell him about their challenge in their relationship. And this guy give them advice. Now, let me see if I can get one or two of those messages and read it to you. There was one I saw, I think it was this week. Look at this one. I have been cheating on my husband with my ex. I've been married for 3 years. And now my husband travel and my another travel a lot. So I've been cheating on him with my ex. Recently, I found out that I was pregnant using urine test strip. I forgot to dispose it and I left it in the bedroom. My husband walked in and saw it. Now he knows about the pregnancy. I wanted to keep it secret till I abort it. But now my husband found out and he thinks the pregnancy is his. I've tried so hard to convince him to let me abort it. I told him I'm not ready for babies, but my husband refused he said if I abort his pregnancy, he would definitely divorce me. And I trust my husband. He's a man of his word. Please, I need your help. I can't have another man's baby for my husband. I don't want to lose my marriage. I'm so devastated. Can you see an example? He's married, but go back to his ex. Why? A lot of issue in marriages is because people marry who they don't love. But they marry for money. Sometimes they marry looks. In fact, there was another story. The lady married, he separated from his ex and married another guy. The guy he married the guy because of his money. But he liked his ex because his ex is a fine boy, but he doesn't have money. So he went to marry someone that is rich, but not handsome like the other guy. This lady was now using pill for her husband. He said he doesn't want to give birth to an ugly child because he feels the husband is ugly. So he goes back to sleep with her ex so he can have beautiful baby. And now Canada show up and they need to relocate her to Canada. And now they're going to do DNA tests on those children. And she now became very devastated. Why? Because she knows her 3 kids are not for her husband. 3 kids. So people get engaged in promiscuity because the person they marry, they don't love the person. They love their ex. This is so important. So they end up marrying someone they do not really love, but the person has money. The person is approved by their parents or by their pastor. Now they will go and cheat on their ex with someone they truly love. Some even start cheating from the wedding night. Some during their honeymoon, immediately after they are back. I heard another story, a true life. These are all true life stories that people send in. This one, after he got married, he slept with his ex before they went on honeymoon. So they now went on honeymoon. First night, they slept. The husband woke up in the night and saw that some messages were dropping on the wife's phone. He just curiously tried to check. And he saw the messages of the ex talking about the way he enjoys sex with her and how he cannot wait for her to come back from Dubai. And the wife responded also about the fact that, I love you also. I really want to be with you, but you don't have money, so I have to marry this guy. The man was so disgusted. He confronted the wife. We started begging. I think there are a lot of cases of promiscuity resulting from people marrying those they do not love because they are trying to please someone. I can't understand how someone would take a life decision like marriage and is doing it for someone else. As if it's not someone else going to be in the relationship or the marriage. Another reason for cheating is modeling. Modeling that they see their leader doing or cheating without being caught, and they begin to follow suit. Also, trauma and pressure. There are women that goes to cheat because they need to raise money to take care of their sick husband or children's school fees when their husband cannot pay. Some of them do it also to have children. They will do the cheating with their ex, so he can assist them to solve their problem. There are many women in this category. They are not supposed to cheat and will not have cheated, but for the pressure they are under to save their family, they go to cheat. What will you say about those people? They had good intention, even though they didn't go about it the right way. But the fact is that they cheated on their husband. It's on their husband. Some lady cheat as a coping mechanism. As a coping mechanism. They are going through depression and they are going to kill themselves. But they met a guy who helped them salvage the situation. Who helped them salvage the situation. And they begin to cheat. Now, look at this story. This one is a very interesting one for me. And sometimes people can get so used to some bad thing that, look at this. Good evening. Please try and post this. Thank you. I've been married for 7 years. These 7 years have been filled with entertainment and wild sex and fun. Very interesting, I swear. When my husband cheats, it is fun because this is a lady talking, because I can threaten, I can call the side chick and threaten her and go back and forth. He will beg me. He will have a crazy make-up sex with me. He will buy me gifts. He will buy me vacation ticket. It's always like Tom and Jerry, cat and rat. You get? Now, my husband has not cheated this year. I'm part of last year. But this has made my marriage to be boring. I won't lie. Very boring. He comes home early. He doesn't use phone on his password again, password on his phone again. I don't smell strange perfume on him. He has even cut off some of his friends. He just sit down at home and watch TV. I miss finding condom everywhere in his bag. I really miss this. I want to ask my younger sister in the university to hook up with him. I'm so bored because me personally, I don't want to cheat. I just miss it. I miss it. I miss him cheating because of what he does after. Yes, I'm a housewife and I have a business, but I'm bored. Now, just imagine this kind of situation. Okay, yes, let me tell you the person. The person is on Instagram. It's called Joro Olumofin. Joro, Joro Olumofin, Olumofin. The guy also helps people to connect. And he has helped to contact many marriages. He called himself Love Doctor. He has helped so many people to connect. Now, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say What I'm trying to say exactly is this. I'm trying to say that people can get used to a very bad habit. There are some ladies, some ladies will tell you they don't mind, they know their husband will cheat, so they made up their mind to receive it. Joro Olumofin, Olumofin, Olumofin. Joro, yes, Joro Olumofin, Olumofin on Instagram. So now, look at this lady now. This is the lady that would like to push the husband to go and cheat. He likes what happened after the husband cheats, and he called the husband. He likes what happened. It's strange, very strange. But ladies and gentlemen, these are the reality of our times. When a lady already believes that the husband will cheat, he prepares his mind for it. He prepares his mind for it. He prepares his mind for it. Because he believes the husband will cheat now. So what are you talking about? So he's used to bad habit. As in, the husband is doing something wrong, but he likes what the husband do after. And so he feels that is fun. Now, that there is no fight, no argument, no issues. And there are ladies today who are not married, who feel their relationship is boring because they are not having issue with their boyfriend. They enjoy the drama that follow their boyfriend cheating on them. They enjoy the drama because they have experience with many guys and they are used to that lifestyle. I'm trying to say that even some ladies or some men push their spouse to cheating. This is so important to understand that what is supposed to be abnormal can become normal in some people's life. What is supposed to be abnormal can become normal in people's life. And you can see a good example right here. So some ladies cheat as a coping mechanism. Because their husband, so to say, is not available. And here is a guy helping them out. There is a lady that was married and who was depressed. But the husband does not know about it. And this lady met a guy that talked her out of it. And in the course of trying to show her love and care, something led to the other and they had sex. Look at that lady. He didn't set out to cheat. He didn't set out to cheat. He was depressed and the husband is now aware. And that's why some men are so, you should be able to be sensitive to know when something is wrong with your wife. You should be. If you are very sensitive, you will know. Because sometimes your wife expects you to know. So this lady is depressed. And he met a guy who noticed that in her, who was able to encourage her, counsel her, and talk her out of that depressive state, suicidal thought. And the cost of trying to do that, showing her so much care and love, one thing led to another, and they had sex. This lady confessed to a therapist that even though they never had that sex again, that never happened again, even though that never happened again, but the experience gave her a reason to live because she feels loved, because she's married to a man that never loved her. A lot of people also cheat because of sexual dissatisfaction with their partner. This is because they already have been exposed to a level of sexual satisfaction before marriage that their current man cannot give to them. Now, you know what I'm trying to show you? That sometimes when people cheat, as bad as the situation is, when you look at it critically, you can even feel for them why they do what they did. Not to say what they did is right, but you can imagine yourself in their situation. And that's why I said, don't marry if you're not ready to forgive, if your spouse cheats on you, as painful as it is. If you will not be able to forgive, do not marry. If you will not be able to forgive, do not marry. Things do happen. things do happen. The fact that we do not normalize this kind of discussion about sex is a major issue. It's a major issue that needs to be addressed, and it must be corrected before marriage. People want to get married, they don't discuss these issues. We need to create an environment where it is okay to discuss some of these conversations in order to be able to let out feelings that people have towards another person, even before you marry or when you are married to them. Even some are married, they still cannot discuss this issue, and they are married. It's still sacred, even though they are married. This makes it easier for you to get help within such community. There are some disturbing data that show that there is a growing list of married men and women that their partner are denying sex. There is a disturbing data. There is a growing number of men and women whose partner are denying sex. This is common among believers and even some pastors' wives. Some pastors are victims, and their wife will say, "Is it food?" Their partner will say, "Is it food?" And they do this because they know their partner will not cheat. They know their partner can't cheat because their partner is either a pastor or a Christian. This is the reason why a lot of couples now have what they call friend with benefit. Who is a friend with benefit? This simply means a sexual partner without any string attached. They only sleep with each other for the fun of it. They do not have nothing between themselves. They just satisfy each other's pleasure, and they call them friends with benefit. So both of them are only interested in satisfying each other sexually. Each other sexually and nothing more. It is important for you to know that your upbringing can set you up for adultery without you even knowing it. Your upbringing, your environment, your experience are critical to who you have become and your worldview about life. When Paul says, "I see other warring within me, which make me to do what I do not want to do," it is because of this program that have been installed, which control what we do in a subliminal manner. This is why the scripture says that you should be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's basically saying you need to uninstall your self-sabotaging pattern. That's the way someone put it, and I love that description. Uninstall your self-sabotaging pattern. Now, in an infidelity, there are three triads. There is the culprit, there is the cheated, and the accomplice. There is the culprit, there is the cheated, and the accomplice. The culprit is the man or woman that cheats. The cheated is the man or woman that is cheated upon. And the accomplice is the person they cheat with. Let's look at the cheated. The cheated is permitted to grieve. If you are cheated upon, you are permitted to be sad, to grieve. But then you need to detach to discover the real issue. Get help to elicit what you truly need and do an overall audit of the cheat. Remember why you got married. Forgive your partner. Heal and focus on the wins and opportunity in your marriage. Channel your pain by knowing what you did wrong and use it to teach others. What do you do wrong? What is it that you did wrong that makes your partner to cheat on you? Do not blame yourself. Create an empowering perspective. Like this now teach you how not to treat your partner. then start afresh. Trust your partner again because there is no one that is irredeemable. It is important to have an important reason why you get married, so that even when your partner cheats, the reason you got married is so big for you not to forgive and move on. Not to forgive and move on. But please note that if you cannot forgive a cheating husband or wife, there is no reason to remain in that kind of relationship. Also note that in healing from this pain of being cheated upon, you need to work with professionals who are trained to help you in that situation. They are called therapists. Then the culprit. Who is the culprit? The person that cheated on his partner. The culprit needs to acknowledge his or her error, take responsibility for what he has done wrong to his or her spouse. He should forsake that way of life and commit to change. You need to get a professional help so that this professional can beam searchlight to discover the causes and triggers. You know, sometimes we just assume, if you don't sit down to know what is the cause, what are the causes and triggers? What are the causes and triggers? This is why you need professional help. What are the causes and triggers? What are the causes and triggers? If you do not know the causes and triggers, how do you prevent it from repeating itself? How? You can't prevent it from repeating itself if you do not know the causes and the triggers. Remember to forgive yourself of your error, get healed, and change the meaning of your error. Give it a different meaning. You know, when things happen, you need to find a way to explain it to yourself so that you can find comfort in forgiving yourself and moving on. Rebuild slowly because your credibility is at stake and you need to regain it, particularly gaining acceptance with your partner. And finally, use this mess as a message to help others avoid this error in their lives. Tell them what happened and how you made mistake and what they must do to avoid your mistake. Turn your mess to a message. Please note that taking responsibility, personal responsibility, is the first step you need to take in order to begin to get healed. Take personal responsibility for your actions. Take personal responsibility for your actions. Now, how about the accomplice? That's the person who, like the side chick, who cheated on someone's husband, or the man who cheated on someone's wife. The accomplice is the person who slept with your husband or your wife. The person needs to apologize to for his or her action. She needs to break away fast from such relationship, take responsibility. He doesn't need to blame anyone, but detach and own his or her feeling. So he can see the triggers and get a therapist to help also. Take the trash in good faith, avoid fighting back, particularly if you are humiliated, and refuse any form of emotional blackmail because you deserve another chance. And leverage on the integrity of others who can help you. Who can help you? You know, there was a case of a woman who was cheated. He was cheated upon by his husband. He was in Calabar, who was informed about the fact that the wife is with the husband with the child chicks, and he was chasing them, driving recklessly till she lost her life. Look, if you don't want to have hypertension, you don't want to kill yourself, just accept that, look, whatever happened in this relationship, I will forgive my spouse. Make up your mind on that. If you are not ready to do that, please don't get married. I beg you. You see some of the examples I've given tonight? The people didn't set out to do it. Oh. They didn't set out to do it. Things do happen, particularly when people are unguarded. So they are not promiscuous. They didn't set out to do it, but they find themselves doing it. They find themselves doing it. Of course, they have done something wrong, no doubt. If you are now the wife or the husband of that person, and you're not ready to forgive, please do not go into marriage. A study was done among 150 couples in Nigeria. And it was observed that 130 men and 85 women said they will never forgive their spouses if their spouses cheated on them. 130 men and 85 women out of 150 couples. 130 men said they will never forgive their wife, and 85 women said they will never forgive. They will never forgive their husband. But guess what? Look at this. Look at this. All of them stated that if their children, their daughter or their son cheated on their partner, so that means they have children, they have a son, and their son cheats on his wife, or they have a daughter and their daughter cheated on her husband, they all say they will never discard their children. If their children cheat on their spouses, they will rather seek for peaceful mediation, resolution of the issue. Can you see someone who will not forgive his wife, but want his in-law to forgive his daughter for cheating? See someone who will never forgive their husband, but want her in-law to forgive her son when her son cheats on their spouses. That will tell you something about human beings. Great hypocrisy we have in our society. You are not ready to forgive your spouse, but you want your in-law, son-in-law to forgive your daughter. You want your daughter-in-law to forgive your son. What a society we have. I will stop here today. Let me hear your thought on what I shared tonight. Good evening, everyone. Victor, you are the first on my list. Victor, how are you? Good evening. Hello, Victor.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for the seminar, the admonition today. Yes, I really appreciate what. But my only question was that we were talking about. I think you gave various reasons why promiscuity is a possibility and different factors that leads to it, and they are quite like understandable. But in the place, I wanted to ask that in a situation, because you give a stat that there were a number of people that they said they were not going to forgive their spouse if they ever cheat on them. So in a place, because most of the examples you give, both partners like basically like at the fault, maybe one was not available for the another something. It's almost like it's a shared kind of responsibility that led to it. But in a case in which one party is like medicated, like there was no reasonable reason for them to, for the other partner to cheat, probably because this person has been cheating before marriage, and now that he's married, he's just still in his blood, or he's just still in his nature to cheat, and there's no there's no shared.
There'll be a reason, Victor. Even if he has been doing it before, if he's doing it now, most likely maybe because he's used to a particular experience that is no more used to, that is no more getting. Of course, he's used to it, so he doesn't see anything wrong with it because he has been doing it before marriage. But the reason why he will go out to still do it, because if he's getting what he wants inside, most likely he will not. Most likely he's used to a particular lifestyle or a particular experience in that act that is not getting his relationship, most likely. Because we are rational human beings. I don't know if you understand what I mean. We're rational human beings. Most of the time when you do something, you do it for a reason. It might be a stupid reason, but you can explain the reason why someone do something. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
Yes, sir. But there are some people that just, I don't know, there are women, they just like, we talk about like stupid reasons. Some people just cheat just because they just feel like, maybe because they have been used to different kind of, just like the example that I gave, this person had different experience with different kind of women, and the wife you marry cannot provide those satisfaction based on his multiple experience before marriage. Yes, doesn't know like in that kind of situation where that one you cannot blame the woman or she
No,
cannot
no, no. I
become.
will blame both of them not discussing that issue. That's so the reason I brought that up is to let you know that that could have been sorted out if they discuss extensively. Because look, what I'm trying to say with this session, these two sessions is, if you're in a relationship and you're married and someone cheats, dig deep to know what happened. If you dig deep, you might be able to unravel the reason and prevent it again. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So that person now, most likely, he has an experience that they never discussed. If you have been on this platform and you've gone through this series, you know that I've said so much about the need to discuss issues around sex. Seriously. If that is discussed, maybe that will have prevented it. And I use the word maybe advisedly.
All right, sir.
All right.
So you mentioned one other thing that about you're talking about people that they married and someone because maybe their parents prefers this person or they married the person because he's rich and they married the person maybe for those maybe because of looks, one reason or the other. Then you now mentioned some other minor factors. I said people like don't marry who they like because of maybe religion, maybe ethnic group. And I'm wondering that isn't religion meant to be because especially as Nigerians, the larger percentage of Nigerians are religious. Either you are Muslim or you're Christian, or you're even traditional worshiper. So I feel like towards Africans, religion cannot be categorized as something minor. Or maybe I don't get what you're saying there.
Okay, now, if we look at it, if you look at marriage for the sake of marriage, it is possible for people to marry and they have different religion and their marriage will still work. Very possible. And we've seen an example in our society. And the marriage will still work. Now, if for you, it will not, no problem. The idea I was trying to point there is that the religion was the reason why they could not go ahead, but they end up going back to their ex. So if it's religion, if the person is really, really religious, why is he going back to his ex? Because the religion should make him maintain piety, not to go back to his ex. So we also have a reason to doubt that belief in the first place. Because the point being made there was the fact that some people love someone else, but they marry someone else. They marry that other person because maybe their parents approve of it, they are from the same tribe, the person have money. And the person they rejected that person because maybe it might even be the same Christian faith, but different denomination. Or the same Muslim belief, but different. Muslims also have different, what's the name? I won't call it denomination now, but sect. But the point being proven there is that it's not to downplay some of these factors, but to say that people will not marry someone they love for some reasons, because if indeed your religion is important to you, you shouldn't have loved that person in the first place. If indeed your religion is very important, you shouldn't have even loved that person in the first place, because you should have put all that into consideration before you even get close and begin to love. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So if you are going to the point that you don't love the person, why suddenly your religion become important? Well, was it not an issue before you started the whole thing in the first place? I'm saying all that to just argue for the fact that that should not even have happened if indeed you want to factor in this person is as religious as he claims. But let me say the point being made there is that, which is the substance of the conversation, is that people marry people they don't love and reject others for whatever reason, religion or no religion, whatever reason. But they get married who they don't love and they end up going back to their ex.
All right. I want to say about even this issue of people they don't love because love means different things to different kind of person. So are you like saying like love in the entirety or based on your own like understanding? Because what love means to
based on the person definition of love. Based on the person definition of whatever the definition you give it. As far as it's concerned, this is what is attracting him to this person. Whatever definition you give it, doesn't matter. Based on his own definition. He prefer this person to this person. But he went for the person he didn't prefer to the other person.
Because sometimes people argue that even like love sometimes is never enough, that the fact that I love this person does not guarantee a happy home that is more than love. Like more love is actually like
very correct.
Yeah, like more like love is more like a commitment than actually a feeling.
Yes.
Or how this person looks or doesn't look.
Very correct.
All right, sir.
All right, thank you. Shoma, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you for joining. What did you learn tonight?
Well, let's say I've heard about this before, so it was just like adding more to what I've already learned before.
Okay.
But I said I've heard about this before, like this topic before. Not really the same topic, but it was said in another way. So I still gained some things more. But there's something I want to ask.
Go ahead.
You know, there are some facts that some men, like when it comes to that issue of let's say infertility for one, maybe the man is unable to produce, is unable to impregnate his wife, and then the woman has to go sleep with another person.
Yeah.
You know, there are facts that we see issues that, okay, the man might be like, okay, my sperm cannot produce a child, why don't you sleep with my friend?
Yeah.
And then the woman goes ahead. The woman doesn't really want to go ahead in the first place, but then she goes ahead because she wants to please the husband.
Yeah.
Now, going to please the husband, she now finds out that sex with the friend of the husband is more fun than sex with her husband.
Okay.
And then instead of her now getting closer to the husband, because of what happened, she gets close to the husband's friend. And that husband is now trying to say that they backstab him. How do you try to talk to people like this to understand where the issue really is?
No, the issue is not anywhere. A man that will allow that to happen, for me, is very unwise. There are a lot of other options to solve that problem. Why is it that you are saying your wife should go and sleep with another man? There are other ways to solve it. The other way to, so for me, it's very, very unwise to even go that route. So for me, the man is very unwise, and he's just paying for the consequences of his actions. Because there are other ways of solving that problem. So, and for every time in life, when you take a decision, for every action you take or decision you take, you are also having alternative for God. And there are consequences. So that's just the consequence of such action, because it shouldn't. That also tells me a lot about, which is why, I've said it on this program, that if you are getting married, you must be getting married for some important reason more than just having kids. So that if there's a delay in childbearing or have issue with kids, you can see and live a very happy life and enjoy yourself in spite of the fact that you do not have kids. You should be happy to do that. Now, if you are not happy to do that, then there's a problem. And it's a big problem. That means the reason for marriage is not really for the purpose of marriage, it's because of what we are going to get, which is the child. And you don't have control over the child's coming. So for me, right from the word go, child was more important in that marriage than the peace, joy, unity, companionship, and goal of them marrying in the first place. Which is why I said, for me, there's no understanding here. There's no understanding, sincerely. It's not a good decision. Because there's no way, it's happened in the Bible. Now, you saw it in Abraham, and they had to chase away Hagar. Look, it will backfire. And different way backfire. And this one is even a very funny one. It could have been that they gave back to that child, and the man, the husband's friend, who slept with the wife, eventually could not have kids with his own child, or his own child, something happened and the child died. He can come back and claim this child from this woman he can go back and claim it. So there's so much issues around it for you to even consider it in the first place. I don't know if that answers your question, Chioma. Hello, Chioma, are you there? Victor, I saw your hand up. Were you trying to ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just want to like mention that like the example that she gave, like we're talking about that people should get married for more important reason. But
Yeah.
I understand that that's true to me, but it's the point. But I feel like in life, people have different goals, and someone that gets married to have children we cannot actually say that's a wrong aim or purpose, because if that's what that marriage means to him, then it should be fine. We should not like try to like
So
downgrade
you are
or
right.
minimize.
But you are right. But how do you place the hope of your marriage on what you don't have control over? Is that wise? So it's like putting your life, you build your relationship and marriage until you don't have control over. Do you think that's a wise decision? Because you don't have control over this. So if that becomes important to you, number one, you have entitled to your opinion. You can say that's what you want. But but every statistic has shown that if the goal of a marriage can be achieved in 9 months, you get tired of that marriage very soon. Immediately you achieve your objective, which is why people easily get tired and want to pull out. And it's been recommended that, look, you have to have other ideals beyond a short-term goal, like having kids. So if the person is what if they get married and the goal is to have kids, and for one reason or the other, there are men and women who are very okay. The wife is okay, the husband is okay. For some reason, they were not just conceiving. What will you do to that? Victor, do you understand my point? Hello, Victor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So I agree with you. People are entitled to their opinion and they can choose that. Very, very correct. I'm only saying that, is that a wise choice? I don't think so. But like you said, they're very okay and entitled to their opinion. The reason why I have this conversation is also for us to also take a look at our goals and see, look, is this the best for me? Can I begin to think differently? That's the goals. But you're very correct. They can choose that. But for me, I feel that's not a wise choice.
Okay, all right, sir. So, one more thing. This is just an observation.
Yes.
He started giving examples of some of these challenges. Like I think in the earlier sessions of this series, he said as time goes on, you are going to answer some of these questions, because some of these questions, maybe not this particular one, but I just remember that previous episode. Like there are some that let's say they are like interesting cases in quotes, and I don't know if you still have plan on answering some of those, because some of these questions are what people face.
Yes, I will. Maybe the last 2 episodes, please remind me. I hope you'll be available. The last episode, we'll just look at some practical cases and then we'll discuss around it. And I'm happy you brought that up.
All right.
Yes. So I still have 2 sessions on pressure. From next we'll discuss pressure. Pressure that people face in marriage and the challenge. How you see people jumping into lagoon, people committing suicide, all those issues that happen within the marriage. We'll look at 2 sessions, then we'll look at parenting, 2 sessions, then we'll look at predisposition of men and women, 2 or 3 sessions, and we'll be done. So we'll still have about 7 sessions to go. Yes.
All right. Yeah. That's the next year. Wow. All right, sir.
All right. I actually planned about 13 weeks, but the more I did, the more I saw a lot of things I think must be added, and I just decided to add it. Chioma, go ahead. You wanted to say something.
Okay, so I have another question.
Go ahead.
The issue of this sex in a relationship.
Yes.
I have a friend so I kind of saw him, I think this week. Yeah, saw him this week, and then he was like, he broke up with his babe and this one, and it was just explaining to me. I was like, okay, what was the main reason? He found out that he has been cheating on him.
Okay.
Having sex with another person. She won't give it to him.
Oh, the girl will not give it to him, but it's someone else. Okay.
Yes. And whenever he tries to force her, she will just, just do what you want to do. And So it was not later, it was just who was telling me that she has done it the first time, he has forgiven her. She has done it the second time, he has forgiven her. Then this third one, he said that no, that he's not forgetting, let her just go. That he doesn't want to have anything to do with this thing again. And I said, okay, fine, you don't want to do it. But the thing with him is that his sexual appetite is very, very high.
But I get that. The thing with who? The guy?
With the guy, yes.
His sexual appetite
It's
is
high.
very, okay.
Very high.
Is he the one that said
it's
it?
like, huh?
Is he the one that told you?
Yes, he's
Okay.
the one that told me. So it was like, it's not that he won't force you, but then when he wants to do it, he has to make sure that he enjoys himself.
Okay.
So I now told him that, okay, now that you broke up with your girlfriend, what do you want to do? And I said, okay, now he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to have a girlfriend now. But as many girls that he see, if they are willing, he will have sex with them.
Okay.
And I was trying to tell him that, okay, you're a Christian and you want to have sex before marriage. And he was like, when he gets to marriage, he's going to sort it out. I was like, all right, no problem. Then this morning.
Sorry, hold on. What do you mean by sort it out?
I was trying to tell him that having sex before marriage is going to cloud his.
He said we sort it out. Sort what out?
I was trying to explain to him that having sex before marriage, that when you now say a person that you want to get married to, there are some things that sex is going to allow that will cloud your image of what you will not see from the lady. And it was like, when he gets to that bridge, he will sort it out.
Okay.
Yes. So this morning he called me and he said that something happened.
Okay.
I was like, oh, what about? Like, okay, he went out with a particular girl to his brother's side, to his brother's house. And on getting there, he already has this fantasy of maybe they had a fantasy of doing threesome. And while he was trying to have sex with the girl, his brother joined in. And the girl was not that she really wanted to, but because she wanted to please him, she did it.
Okay.
And it was like he enjoyed himself and he's not going to let the girl in person go.
Okay.
Because of what she did for him and his brother.
Okay.
Then I said, okay, if you're not going to let her go, are you ready to get married? So I was like, no, how can I get married to something like that?
Okay.
So I was not trying to say, okay, if you cannot get married to something, then why are you doing it in the first place?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just doing it for fun. So I really want to understand that. Is it just only for fun or just for any other reasons? Why do people really do things like this?
No, let me tell you, sex is addictive. It's addictive. It's addictive. And because it's addictive, just like cocaine, just like smoking, just like drugs, because some hormone released in the body during that act is the same hormone that is released in the body even when people get addicted to substances. Even when people get addicted to substance. So when something becomes addictive, it becomes uncontrollable and compulsive behavior. Those kind of people, unless there's a divine intervention or something happen that will make them break up. So for example, if someone is addicted to, let's say sugar, and he takes sugar a lot, he just loves sugar, the day he have diabetics, suddenly he will begin to control the sugar because he can see death at the door. So that's where some people, when they have that drastic issue in their life, see something life-threatening, that the will to overcome that challenge begin to come. So for this person, I mean, it's obviously addictive. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. That's what it is there's just nothing you can do about it. What's the issue? Is the lady will now marry, because look, if he's already having this issue, this is why, it doesn't appear like as a society, particularly for religious organization and even for the government and society in general, we don't seem to look at what is confronting us. We are going to be in for a big challenge in our world. You know why? Because with this kind of person, it's not just this person, we are going to have more and more. That's why I'm telling you that people now get used to people cheating. Can you imagine? Say the lady cheat and they forgive the lady cheat because he doesn't see anything wrong with it. Even him, because to him, he's already doing it. It's like I'm stealing from this and someone else is stealing from it. I don't see anything wrong in stealing because you're not supposed to be doing it, you're already doing it. You understand? So it doesn't see anything wrong with it ab initio. And that's the challenge of this generation, not seeing anything wrong. And the implication of that is it's going to increase promiscuity. We're going to have a lot of baby mamas. We're going to have a lot of single mothers. We're going to have a lot of this issue going forward in our society. But for that guy, it's just addictive. There's nothing you can do about it. He just needs help, basically, to get out of it. I don't know if I answer your question, Choma.
Yes, sir, you did.
All right.
Okay, but
okay, go ahead.
But then I just feel like, is it because like what you just, I was about to tell you that I think he said that when he was with her, he was also doing it with other girls. So I think that was what that was what makes him always, because I was like, why was he do something first time, second time, and you're like,
exactly,
and you are still with that person.
It's normal. You just feel okay. After I'm also doing it, so what's the big deal?
Okay, I actually tried telling him that he should join to that, and he was just giving me an excuse like, oh, you have start again, don't disturb me, don't give me, I don't want to do this one. Yes, I will just keep on pushing it. Maybe one day we answer me. I'll keep on pushing.
You can send him the link if he will listen to it.
I sent it to him. I've sent it to him already. I sent the link to the WhatsApp, so I will join, but he was like, I should not disturb him. But I'll keep on sending to him. Maybe one day he will just answer me. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Ugochukwu, good evening. You came late. Were you able to pick up anything? Hello, Ugochukwu. Okay, Sheun Adewale, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, oh. Thanks for joining.
Thank you very much for tonight's session. It was very wonderful.
Thank you.
And I really gained a lot. I wish people that will get married will listen to some of these things.
Yes.
Before even starting courtship.
Yes, because, exactly.
It's better. Prevention is better than cure, as far as marriage is concerned. Yes.
Yes.
Because some of these things, if it was to be abroad, you have to pay to see a therapist and help do something. So for you to have access to sessions that will help in marriage, I think is a real sacrifice on your part. So I want to say thank you very much. God bless you in your strength. I really gained a lot. And one of the key things I gained is that if you are not ready to forgive, don't marry.
Don't get married. Don't get married because it can happen. It can happen. Don't get married.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Victor, I saw your question. You said just a random thought. Why is having sex during relationships so popular in society and statistics so high? Number one, sex is addictive. Number two, sex sells. Sex is used to sell everything. And because it's used to sell everything, the temptation, okay, when I was growing up, for you to see X-rated videos, what we call blue film at that time. Number one, your parent must be middle class and they must have a VCR in the house. Number two, you will need to go and borrow that VCR video cassette from all these places they do rental video cassette. When you borrow, you have to find a way to keep it very well so that your parent will not see it and your friend will not see it. And you have to know the day that parent will not be around, that you watch it. And you must know the time they take light and bring it. Because if they take light and it remains inside and your dad come in and they found it, you'll be in trouble. So to see porn, X-rated videos, naked pictures is a lot of work. When I was growing up, a lot of work. Today, it's at the click of a button. It's at the click of a button. Some people open a whole channel to talk about this, not educating people on promiscuity, but to talk about sex in general. So the message is just out there free for everyone. So now, when your eyes are your ears, a gateway to your heart as human. That's why the scriptures say, guard your heart with all diligence. So if you are fed with this thing through your eyes and ears every day, and you are not married, it's either you stop exposing yourself or you practice what you are saying. You have to do one of them. Either you stop exposing, because you are still human being. And you are going to be moved unless you have a support structure around you, such that even if you want to be foolish, it will never happen because of the way the support structure around you, your friends, where you stay, things you do, where you go, unless you have that sort of support structure. But it will be tough for you not to. So it's rampant in society today because the power of the internet to provide that information at the fingertips, and the fact that we are in a generation that really do not care about some of those things we used to care about. Those things we used to see as taboo growing up is normal in our days. Victor, I don't know if I've been able to throw a little light on your question. All right, thank you very much, everyone.
Yes, sir. Like, why is it normal? That is even the issue. Like, why is it that so people just think it's normal?
It's normal
Like,
because,
why do we?
I mean, everybody is talking about it. It's not hidden the way it used to be. It's normal. But, you know, it's orientation, culture. Okay, let me give you an example. When I was growing up in this same Lagos, there is a style they call Shaba. I don't know if Sean will remember. Shaba. Shaba is a skirt style. They will cut it from, it's a long skirt, but they will cut it, they'll slash it to your nail and put 2 buttons on top. So they'll slash it to the thigh rather. They will almost be seeing your pant as a lady, but it's a long skirt that is getting almost to your ankle, but they slash it. When people started wearing it in Lagos, Igbo traders in Oshodi, when they see a lady, they will tear it. They will embarrass the lady because the society rejected it. Women will have to help the lady to cover herself because of the shame. But today, people are even wearing worse things. It's now normal. Why? Exposure, constant exposure to negative things, normalize negativity. Normalize negativity, constant exposure. I don't know if that helps.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. See you next week as we discuss pressure. You know, it's relationship and marriage. So we'll discuss a lot of issues with marriage, a lot of pressures on men, a lot of pressures on women. Our country is really going through a tough time. Inflation is very high. Things are so expensive. Families are struggling. And we need to find a way to navigate that and manage that. And that's what we'll be discussing next week. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend and bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye, sir.